So a lot of news has went down over the past 48 hours with the Washington Commanders. We're going to be covering it all today and also ending the horrible week 2 matchup that was against the Green Bay Packers and moving on to hopefully a week 3 dub against the Las Vegas Raiders. Everything Commanders, get it here with your man, aka the chosen Commander Miko, here at Commanding Control. Let's talk about it now.
What they gonna say about your name? What they gonna say about your reputation? What they gonna say when they turn that film on? I know what they gonna say about me. Bacha! Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Give me two clap and a Ric Flair.
All right, so first things first, let's talk about roster moves the Commanders have made over this past week. Um, we all saw the game Thursday. If you didn't, you heard about it. We lost two players to IR, and we came out of that game banged up. Trey Amos didn't finish the game. John Bates didn't finish the game. Noah Brown didn't finish the game. Jaden Daniels came out the game limping. And the two players that we did lose to IR is Jonathan Jones didn't finish the game. He ended up on IR, but not season-ending IR. These next two players that I'm going to mention did. And I'm talking about Austin Eckler and Dietrich Wise. Two rotational pieces that were key to this team. Austin Eckler being a jack of all trades, a master of none. You know, being able to tote the ball, but also having the ability to receive the ball and be a formidable pass catcher out the backfield. We lose that. Dietrich Wise, great run stopper, decent pass rusher, but the first 2 weeks, especially week 1, he was showing flashes as a pass rusher. So, you know, we don't need any more injuries on the D-line that already isn't that deep. So we're going to miss him very much. Jonathan Jones is on IR. He was just placed on IR, but that's only for 4 weeks. So he didn't come out the game healthy either. So now that is going into our corner depth. And like I said, Jaden Daniels, John Bates, Noah Brown, Trey Amos. Those three did not finish the game out. Jaden Daniels finished the game, but he was out limping. He was battered and bruised, so we'll see about the injury report today. The corresponding moves with Jonathan Jones going to IR, we did re-sign former Redskin, now Commander, Preston Smith. And we also brought up Antonio Hamilton Sr. to the active roster. So for right now, I guess he'll take Jonathan Jones' place. And, you know, hopefully we don't face too many more injuries. Technically, we're already down 2 corners because Trey Amos didn't finish the game. Now, the good thing about playing Thursday, you take your nicks and bruises then and you have 10 days to rest. But it's still not a guarantee we see Trey Amos. We'll look at the injury report and see what it says as far as both teams. But, yeah. But I'm going to let that be the cap on what was an ugly and distasteful week last week. That Thursday night football game left 10 days of just horrible medicine in our mouths. So we're going to leave that alone. News just came out that the voters on whether or not the Commanders will be making their return to DC or not, they voted 11-2 in favor of DC, in favor of the Commanders coming back to DC. So by 2030, the Washington Commanders will be back in the District of Columbia. No more Landover, Maryland. They will be back in DC, rightfully where they belong. It's a big deal. You know, the people of DC have been wanting this for a while, and it's been a huge back and forth. It's always been something here, something there. When it seems like it's getting close, Boom. But ever since Dan Snyder has been out of the front office, it seems like progress was just immense. Like it was picking up here, it was picking up there. Everything just meshed together, and now today they have signed off on it on a $3.8 billion deal to build that stadium. And so the Commanders, as we know it, will officially be back in DC by the 2030 to 31 season. Big news. Um, but also going back to roster moves, forgot one more thing. Chase Edmonds is also signed to our practice squad. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him either this Sunday or next Sunday. He is a Austin Eckler-esque back. You know, pretty much a jack of all trades. Great receiving back. Can tote the ball. But you don't want him to be a every down back. Nor is he going to be. He's not going to come in and be a lead back or nothing like that. But so with us capping off last week, let's shift our focus to the Vegas Raiders. We all saw them play Monday. It wasn't pretty at all for them. Similar to how it wasn't pretty for us on Thursday. And the similarity, we both played on national TV. So it's like the spotlight were on us and both teams failed to show competency throughout the game. So we're going to look at their injury report and just see what it says. It's 3 names on their injury report. So I can imagine ours being much longer. The 3 names are Brock Bowers dealing with the knee, Jeremy Chin dealing with the pec, and Jackson Powers Johnson dealing with the concussion. All 3 were limited. So those are good signs for those guys, but they are coming off a short week and they do have to travel the length of the country. I mean, going from Nevada to DC is not a short flight at all. So that's another thing that plays into account. But like I said, all 3 guys were limited. I wouldn't be surprised if Bowers and Chin played, but Powers Johnson with the concussion, that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, that's their injury report. And then as far as the Commanders, 10 name injury report on Wednesday, a laundry list of players. The ones that did not participate: Jaden Daniels with the knee, Zach Ertz, Von Miller, Laramie Tunsil, all were given rest days. Okay, so 3 out of the 10 were given rest days. Noah Brown with the groin. I forgot he also was bruised and banged up in that game. I doubt we see him play. I doubt we see John Bates play. He's dealing with the groin injury. Jaden, Dan Quinn already came out and said the earliest he could practice is Friday. So tomorrow is going to be a DNP, also a did not practice as well. So I'm not really paying attention to that. I'm kind of focused. I kind of have my thoughts on Marcus being a quarterback, but we don't know. We'll see. The limiteds: Trey Amos with the shoulder injury, Brandon Coleman with the shoulder injury. He was also bruised up in that game. Jeremy McNichols with the hamstring, and Kostin Yankov with the hip. All 4 of those guys were limited. So it's good to see Trey Amos being on that limited side of things and not a DNP, because to be frank, he has been our best corner this season. So it would hurt. Also, like, if let's say Trey Amos didn't play, Jonathan Jones isn't going to be there. We would probably have to go back to what it was last year with Marshawn on one side, Mikey on the other side, and Noah man in the slot. So, and then the depth then really is going to be tested. So it's good to see Trey Amos practicing in a limited capacity. Hopefully that goes up a notch over the next couple days. Brandon Coleman, it's good to see him practicing with the limited, because the O-line did not look good. That might be an understatement. They did not look good Thursday. So we can't afford to have no injuries. They need all the reps and time and plays they could get all together as one accord. That was one thing in training camp that I think might have affected the O-line, possibly. Laramie Tunsil really did not. He really didn't get that many reps with the O-line. He's my least of concerns, but it was always someone sitting out or someone injured or this, that, and the third. So Jeremy McNichols limited with the hamstring. That's a soft tissue, so definitely watch out for that. Because if you re-aggravate a hamstring injury, that's not a pretty sight. So if it's feeling tight, if it doesn't feel right, I would rather him sit out this week. And because Jeremy McNichols, he's not a big part, but the running back group is by committee as of right now. And with Eckler being out, it pretty much comes to Ja'Cory, aka I'm gonna call him Bill. It comes down to Bill, C-Rod, who wasn't even active. He wasn't on the game roster the first 2 weeks, or first 2 games, shall I say. So it's going to come down to Bill, C-Rod, and now McNick. So if McNick is out, we probably going to have to elevate. Who do we pick up? Dylan Edwards. That's his name. Probably going to have to elevate him. So depth is getting tested all around. And Coast and Yankov, we need him pretty much for special teams, if you want the truth. Possibly a snap on offense here, a snap on offense there, but pretty much just the special teams ace that will miss if he doesn't play. But, yeah, those are the injury reports. We'll just see how things go throughout the week for both teams and get updates there. So, with us looking at the injury report, let's now shift our focus to the actual game. It's a little early to talk about it, but the game is Sunday. This is going to be our first day covering the Vegas Raiders and what we could possibly see and whatnot. The Vegas Raiders on paper can present, like, they could present a dangerous team. Geno Smith being quarterback, he's a gunslinger. He's going to try to fit the ball in tight spots. He can throw the ball left, middle, right, up, down, all around. You feel what I'm saying? So, excuse me. With that being said, we have to watch that passing game. And the first name you think of with the passing game is Brock Bowers. He is 1-on-1. I'm not going to lie. He is arguably the best tight end in the league. At least receiving tight end in the league. And aside from him, they also have Michael Mayer. One of the best 1-2 punches in the league as far as tight ends. So that presents a vertical threat that really kind of scares us a little bit as Washington fans, because we saw it Thursday. We did not play well against the tight ends. Frankie Louvu should not be out in coverage. Bobby Wagner definitely shouldn't be out in coverage. Frankie isn't the fastest, but he also just isn't the best as an off-ball backer. He needs to be attacking the line of scrimmage. He needs to be attacking, like I just said, attacking the line of scrimmage. He needs to be going after the quarterback. He needs to be mugging up the line of scrimmage. He needs to be presenting a threat towards the line of scrimmage. He shouldn't be off-ball. That's not the oos that we signed. So hopefully they figure out a package with Frankie on the line somewhere. Bobby Wagner just can't run with the young guys no more. He can't do it. You don't even have to be young. He just can't run no more. If a tight end is going up the field, or let's say we're playing cover 2, Bobby Wagner is the middle zone and he has to drop into the seam, Bobby Wagner can't do it no more. He doesn't have it in him. I could pull a random guy off the street and say, hey, you line up here, Bobby is there, just run a streak in between the 2 safeties. You're going to get past Bobby. Bobby shouldn't be in coverage no more. We have to find a way or a package that prevents if one of them gonna be in coverage, that's already bad enough. But we can't have both in coverage. So we need to find a package that is better suited for pass situations. Whether that's put Revo in the box. I mean, Revo's look pretty good. He could tackle. He's not the fastest, but he could outrun those two. He could carry a tight end up the seam, I hope. You know, we just need to find a package. Let Jordan McGee get in the game. Y'all talk about how well he plays and whatnot, how fast he is. Showcase it. I'm sorry, I just got off topic. I'm so sorry. So yeah, Brock Bowers obviously presents a vertical threat, and that's not the only one. You have Trey Tucker. As a Commanders fan, I'm always scared of short, shifty, fast, twitchy receivers in the slot. Always caused us problems. Wouldn't be surprised if Trey Tucker caused us problems. You have Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. You have Thornton on the outside, the rookie, 6'4". He's what, 6'4", 6'5", running a 4.3? That says enough as is. So not only does he present a height advantage, but he can also beat you down the field with speed. And with that, with you having to respect that speed, that makes you more susceptible to comeback routes or curls or hitches or just outbreaking routes. Really susceptible to any route. Speed kills. If you are scared of a receiver getting over the top of you, you're going to play so far off to when they do get out of their break, now you're 5 yards away. They got 5 yards of separation just because you were respecting their speed, you know. But yeah, the passing game, we saw it in week 1. The passing game could be effective, but we also saw in week 2, it can also be neutralized with a good pass rush. We'll talk about that a little later. The run game, it hasn't looked the best. Ashton Jeanty has not gotten off to the start he probably wants to get off to as far as his NFL career. But there's a reason why he was drafted top. I believe he was the 6th pick. There's a reason. The talent is there. The potential is there. He's already short. Short running backs are hard enough to tackle as is. He runs with the combination of speed, power, strength, acceleration. You know, like, let us not be the team that Ashton Jeanty has a welcome. Let us not be the team that Ashton Jeanty decides to show up. That's all I'm asking. And I'm not really that scared of that because week 1, we shut down the Giants run game. Week 2, Josh Jacobs didn't have an effective game running. So I'm not all that scared of Ashton Jeanty doing anything like that, but you know, Sunday isn't here. We don't know what can happen. That's the lovely thing about the NFL. Anything can happen on any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, now Fridays, and later in the season, Saturdays. You don't know what can happen. Don't let Ashton Jeanty get loose. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause once you let him get loose, that opens up the playbook by it just opens it up. Play fakes, RPOs, possibly an option. I wouldn't rule out running an option with Geno. But yeah, that offense can present threats, but that offensive line looks suspect. Now, I understand the Chargers has looked like one of the best defense in the league throughout the past 2 weeks, and they did last season too, so that could be an outlier. But that offensive line didn't look too good. So that's probably the weakness of that offense. Once you get pressure on Geno, he starts getting happy feet. He starts looking down the field real quick. He starts trying to evade a clean pocket. That's when he starts making his mistakes. As far as that Vegas defense, they've looked formidable. Obviously, elephant in the room, Max Crosby. But, you know, they're flying around, but they don't do nothing that scares me. The only person that scares me a bit is Max Crosby. So, hone into Max Crosby. Double team him. Put 4 hands on him. Bump him off his rush. Make the other 10 beat you. And if they do that, so be it. But that Vegas defense don't really scare me. I'm not going to get too deep into the game and my thoughts and predictions. This was just a mini preview, basically just giving the injury report, just some thoughts, some things we could watch out for, some players to watch out for, just giving you some names to hear and think of just so that it won't surprise you if they make a big play here or there on Sunday or whatnot. Just a mini preview. Later on, the next 2 days, I'll give more thoughts, game predictions, keys to victory, and things like that. But today, I just wanted to give a preview of the Vegas Raiders and the challenges they can present. So, yeah. But thank you for tuning in. You are on Command and Control with your chosen commander, Miko. And until then, have a nice one.
What they gonna say about your name? What they gonna say about your reputation? What they gonna say when they turn that film on? I know what they gonna say about me.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Give me 2 clap and a Ric Flair.